Stephen, what are your other priorities and concerns?
So pretty much my number one priority is, again, housing, and that includes transitional and emergency housing. In my opinion, we need to have sanctioned camps. It's the only humane and dignified way to deal with the very real problem of unhoused folks living in the street. And that's not good for them, and it's not good for the city. So we need to provide them a dignified place to live with the infrastructure. So a sanctioned camp is not just, oh, let them camp wherever. It's, let's set aside a few places that they have the option to choose from, that have showers, that have toilets, that have lockable storage and lockable housing units as well. I look to the community supported shelter model of Walla Walla, Washington, and a couple other communities in the Pacific Northwest, where they build Conestoga huts, which cost about $800 to $1,000 a piece. And they're a lockable shelter, and it's just about 60 square feet. They're really inexpensive. I'm proposing using or purchasing, the city purchase surplus military equipment to build out these camps, so that as we figure out the financing, we can build the affordable housing units we need, small cottage housing for unhoused folks, for permanent housing. And in the interim, we can put them in this surplus military equipment. And I was in the military, and so I have experience both in abroad in Bagram, Afghanistan, and just after the surge. So I saw how they built housing cheaply and quickly. And then also I've done contract air traffic control work for the Forest Service, and I've been in fire camps, and those go up in a matter of days. And so this surplus military equipment not only provides the immediate need of emergency and transitional housing for unhoused folks, but now the city has not only the inventory, the durable goods, but it also has has established best practices for deploying rapid housing. Like when we had the campfire and people didn't know what to do, now the city can be like, oh, major disaster, Cohasset burns down, because it's worse than Paradise was. When that burns down, you have a few thousand people come down the hill. Now the city can be like, all right, here's the spot. We'll get all this set up in a number of hours. And now all the service providers, the Red Cross, the insurance agents, all know where to go, because we now have, and refugee camps are just a fact of life. We think that's a third world issue. That's what is required when the United States military goes and bombs brown people out of their homes. But refugee camps are going to be a reality here, because we're looking at 1 million people displaced in the next 80 years. By 2100, about 1 million people displaced regionally due to climate disasters, both sea level rise and fire. And we just need to get good at housing people quickly, because exposure kills. Like, living on the street shortens your lifespan in a significant way, and that's not fair to them. And that is a reflection of our priorities and values as people, and those aren't my priorities and values. I think housing is a human right. Everybody should be housed. I think everybody should have access to good food, which is why I have food as a major part of my platform. I think we need to democratize the city, which is why I have participatory budgeting and planning, and also a police oversight, a democratically run police oversight board, as well as potentially a democratically run rent oversight board as major platform pillars. And then lastly, a public bank for democratizing our finance.